So today I'm going to try a recipe I've never tried before. I grow a lot of different tomato varieties in my garden, and one of them is these Super 100 cherry tomatoes. Today I just picked a whole load of them. I mean, there's probably hundreds of them here. Well, these need to ripen still, but these are pretty much ripe. So what I want to do is make really, really authentic Italian pasta sauce. So I want to make a penne pasta with these cherry tomatoes. Now these are so sweet and so filled with pectin, which makes it a nice pasty, creamy type of sauce. I want to grill up my frying pan right now and show you what I'm going to do. Now sadly, I do not have any garlic. And so I'm going to have to do this recipe without garlic. Now I recommend, if you're doing this, to actually go to the store and get garlic. Now it is 90 something plus degrees here and like a swamp here on Long Island. So there's no way in hell that I'm going to get in my car right now and swelter to death and melt to go pick up some garlic. So stay tuned. Now I'm going to go in the garden and I'm going to pick some fresh basil and oregano. So stay tuned. So I started to get my ingredients all ready for the dish, and I just picked my fresh Italian basil from the garden. Look how green and fresh and beautiful that is. I'm soaking it in some water to actually wash it. I have my fresh oregano from the garden, and just look at that, guys. Look how beautiful that is. Now you're wondering why I probably have this little midget-sized cutting board. It's because about 2 years ago, our dishwasher broke, and my husband said, I'm not paying to fix it. So now I am the new established dishwasher in this house. So the other cutting boards we have are gigantic, like 2 feet long. I'm not washing that. The hell with it. So I'll just use midget cutting board over here. I got my knife, and this is the pasta I'm going to use. I'm going to use the Barilla brand penne pasta. Now, a lot of you might buy ronzoni. You can do whatever you want, but ronzoni is not real authentic Italian pasta. It's not made with as much semolina as this brand. And semolina is the main point of pasta. You want a semolina type of pasta, which tastes a lot better. So I'm willing to pay an extra 50 cents to $1 more for a box of Barilla, as opposed to that ronzoni, which is like what I call American pasta. Even though I'm Italian American, I don't like that ronzoni stuff. It's like nasty paste. It's like almost like egg noodles in a way. Yeah, I don't like that. So whatever kind of pasta you use, try to go for the better quality, because what you put into your dish is ultimately what you get from your dish. Now I have here extra virgin olive oil. Now there are different kinds of olive oil. I get this particular style because some of the olive oils I purchased in the past are way too bitter and acidy. This one seems to actually be a much milder olive oil that actually doesn't have that bitter aftertaste. I use sea salt. Now sea salt, actually you can use idolized table salt, but I seem to like the sea salt much better. The grain of it and actually the taste of it seems to taste much better than table salt. I have coarse ground black pepper. Well, we have our cherry tomatoes here. And last but not least, this is the world's greatest Pecorino Romano cheese brand. It's Locatelli brand. Now, a lot of times you'll go into a store and buy grated cheese thinking, oh, this is really authentically good Italian cheese, and it's not. So you'll pay $6.99 to $9.99 for a bag of cheese, and do you know what they do? They actually mix sawdust in with the cheese. Well, this particular brand uses pure and fresh cheese filled all the way to the top of the bag with no sawdust. So you may pay a little more for a bag like this, but guess what? You're not getting sawdust. So sometimes paying a little extra for the ingredients, you're going to get a much better tasting dish. So stay tuned while I start to pull out the frying pan, throw some oil in the pan, and get rolling. Now, I don't have garlic. I need garlic for this recipe. Of course, since I don't have it, I can't use it, so it's not going to taste as good. If you have garlic, slice it very, very thin, and you're going to throw some oil in a sauteing pan, and you're going to keep it on a simmer heat where it's not boiling too much, because otherwise you'll burn your garlic. But so let me get started and I'll show you what I'm doing. Stay tuned. So I'm going to cheat just a little bit. Now, you don't have to cheat. If you have enough of these, you don't really need to do this. But I'm going to put a little, I love this brand sauce, by the way. I don't know if it's only local to New York, but it's called Victoria Marinara. Well, I have all my herbs chopped up, by the way. And I forgot to mention, I throw a little butter in when I saute these tomatoes to take away the bitterness. The butter and the cream actually absorb bitterness. And so what I'm going to do is blend a little bit of this sauce because I hate chunky sauce. And I'm going to blend a little bit of it and just put a little bit of it on the bottom of the pan to make it a little thicker. All right, stay tuned and let me go ahead and do that. So I have one of those great blenders called a Ninja, and the Ninja is awesome. So I blended just a little bit of that sauce up. And while you're doing this, make sure, because it only takes about 2 minutes to soften up these tomatoes into like a tomato paste. And make sure you have your water boiling for the pasta, because this is how quick this is going to cook. All right, so let me heat up that pan right now, throw some oil in it with these, and then I'll show you what I add as I go along. So let me tell you something. My stove is the worst stove that was ever made. When we redid my house, we got one of these glass top electric stoves, and it takes sometimes, I kid you not, 20 to 30 minutes to boil regular pasta water, which is absolutely ridiculous. All right, so the oil is heating up now. Now I don't have a really good saute pan, so I'm just gonna have to use this gigantic frying pan. And so I'm waiting for this oil to heat up. Now you don't wanna boil it too hot, you know, where it's like in a rolling boil where everything gets burned, because then the oil gets bitter tasting. So I'm keeping it at a pretty much of a medium heat. Actually, on my stove, that's a 6. Medium is over there, but these stoves are just awful, just god awful. All right, so that's boiling. I'm gonna throw my pasta in there. Let me throw these tomatoes in right now. Oh, okay. Let me lower that heat, actually. All right, so I'm gonna move this all around. Maybe the stove's working today. All right, I'm gonna have to lower the heat even more, actually. Ouch. Yeah, actually, the reason why we got an electric top stove is because I once won the Darwin Award for most stupidest person. I was making spaghetti on the stove in Queens, New York, when we had a gas stove. And guess what happened to me, guys? I caught on fire. I swear to God, I caught on fire. And I spent 30 days in the burn unit. And I nearly died because I was making spaghetti and I'm clumsy. So, yeah. All right, hang on one second. I got to throw this pasta in. I lowered the heat on this. Don't do what I did. Make sure the heat is much lower. But you got to keep moving this stuff around. Otherwise, it's going to burn. All right, hang in there. All right, they're cooking. So when you have your pasta boiling, by the way, look at this crappy stove. This was a rolling boil, and now it's barely just a boil. Always put a heaping spoonful of sugar, oh God, senior moment, of salt into your water. That is the key. You have to put the salt in after the water boils. All right, let me start sauteing this. Now, what I'm gonna do is as soon as these tomatoes start to soften up, you're gonna notice actually the skin is just gonna melt like right off of it. It's gonna come right off of these tomatoes. Once they get into that state, then I'm gonna add more ingredients. Then we'll add some of well, I cheated, or I'm gonna be cheating by putting in that marinara sauce in it. We'll throw a little butter in here. Actually, I'm gonna throw Pecorino Romano into the mix. We're gonna do the salt and the pepper, the oregano and the basil, and we're gonna have some like really, really good meal. You don't even need to move it around with that. You can just keep going like this. Keep moving them. Make sure the tomatoes are moving around. And look at the mess I'm making on my stove. Again, I hate these glass top stoves. Oh God, I hate them. But if I wasn't such a clod and almost light myself on fire with a gas stove, we would probably be having a gas stove right now. But these just suck. All right, finally the water's starting to boil. Let me mix it. Actually, I'm just too lazy to get a spoon. So I'm gonna mix it with a rubber spatula. Yes, I'm making a mess. I can't be trusted. I forgot to put my timer on. Oh Lord. Too many things going on at once. I'm not a multitasker. All right, so I'm going to do the pasta for 12 minutes. What's it say on the box, actually? Oh, God. Yeah, I am definitely not Julia Child. All right, 11 to 12 minutes, it says. At about 11 minutes, I'll check the pasta, because actually I want it al dente when I throw it into this mix here, so it doesn't get too mushy. All right, so here we go. Just going to raise the heat just a slight bit. We want this to soften up quickly, so we can throw in all the other good ingredients in. This is mixing, and yes, I'm making a mess. There's oil splattered all over the place. This is not cool at all. All right, so let me just move this stuff around with my little handy dandy spatula. I can't find my wooden spoon. I think my kids actually hid them. It's an Italian thing. If you're not from a Italian family, you wouldn't know what I mean. Italians like to whack their misbehaving kids with wooden spoons. When I was a kid, I used to hide them from my mother, just so she couldn't beat me with it. But nevertheless, she would run to the store right after that and just buy a new one. And then I'd hide that one too. But so here we go. All right, I'm going to come back in a minute when these get really, really soft and you see the skin start to peel off of them. Then we'll throw our other ingredients in. I have to go mix this. Stay tuned. So as you're cooking this stuff, just take your whatever apparatus you have, wooden spoon, spatula, and just when they start to get mushy, just push them down a little. They'll burst open, and everything will get pasty. Look at that. See how the skin is just coming off of this? And just keep it moving around. When you really feel that they're soft enough and it's starting to get pasty in here, then you can add your other ingredients. This is still boiling. And yes, I am making a godforsaken mess. I should have just ordered out. Call up the local Italian restaurant and say, hey, Umberto's, deliver me some pasta, because I hate the cleanup. If I had someone to clean this up, I would cook every day. All right, hang in there. So I threw some butter in there. Isn't that like Paula Deen, that lady, that southern lady? She throws like a whole stick of butter in. There's my herbs. Get in there. There's my midget, my midget cutting board. So I'm going to start mixing this stuff around. Get that butter mixed up in there. Now I'm going to do my my cheaty thing. I'm going to throw some of that marinara in here. Yes, you don't have to do this. I do it. I like a lot of like sauce. I don't like it too chunky. I hate the chunky sauce. Let me throw some pecorino in there. This is like very fattening, so if you're on a diet, don't try this at home, kids. The more pecorino, the better. I'm going to do about 3 heaping spoonfuls. All right. Now we're going to... I'm such a slob. Oh, my God. All right. We're going to throw some pepper in there. I wish I had the the pepper mill that you can crush the pepper. Throw a little pepper in there. Now we're going to throw a little salt in there. Now I'm going to start moving this stuff around. This is still boiling. Look how good this is starting to look. Oh my God. It smells. Oh my God. It smells so good. It's not even funny. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to lower the heat a little, and I'm going to put a top on this and let it simmer for a little bit, and then I'm going to throw the pasta in here with it all and just let everything just saute together. Yeah. I'm such a slob. All right, stay tuned. Look at that, guys. Oh my God, that looks so good. Oh God, I'm awful. So I'm going to throw some of the pasta in there. Actually, the hell with it. Let's throw all of it in there. I'm going to try to mix it together. I'm trying to be neater. Yeah, I know, I'm a slob. Look at all that basil. And look at the tomatoes that are just like melting. They're disintegrating in here. Look at that. All right, let me mix it up and I'll show you what's going on here. Okay, look how good this looks. Now, some of you might be like, ew, that's gross. But to a lot of other people, you'll be like, oh my God, look how good that is. See all the fresh oregano, the basil, and the mess I made? And yeah, this actually is so good. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna actually put a lid on it and let it sit for about 5 minutes on very, very low heat, and then serve it up. And then I have to clean up all this mess. Oh man, there's pots and pans everywhere, and now I'm the designated dishwasher of this house, so I'm not in a very good mood about this. All right, thanks for watching. Actually, you know what? I'll plate it up and show you what it looks like. Stay tuned. So here it is, all plated up, and that looks so good. Oh my goodness. All right, so I'm gonna give you a close-up. And I, of course, threw more Pecorino Romano cheese on it. Locatelli brand, by the way. Yep. Don't forget your Locatelli brand, because you don't want sawdust pasta. So once again, thanks for watching. If you like what you see, hit the thumbs up and subscribe.